Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Welcome, everyone, to the weekend edition of the Cabral Concept. We're here with our first Cabral HouseCall of the weekend, opening up the Ask Cabral document now. Looking forward to all of the questions that we are going to get to. We answer 6 questions today, 6 questions tomorrow on part 2 of our house calls. And always love answering and seeing what the wellness, weight loss, weight gain, anti-aging based questions are. Literally all the time, all sorts of different new ones. And so really grateful for this community and love being able to stay connected in this way. So let's dive right in. Just open the document. It looks like today is episode 2563. The shows keep on coming, right? Every single day, wake up, we do a new show. And you know, again, my team and I, we love what we do. So we appreciate you tuning in, downloading, subscribing, or reviewing the show. If you haven't done that already, that would be much appreciated. All right, let's get right into it. Questions from Amber. Amber says, hi, Dr. Brawl. I'm very grateful for you and your team and all that you have created, done for this community. I'm 46 years old and definitely feel better than I did in my 30s thanks to you. Thank you, Amber. I appreciate that. Probably more to do with you than me, but I appreciate that nonetheless. All right, we're looking to install a whole home water filtration system for our house. We've looked at several of them, but when I reach out for information, they all boast that the other companies are far less superior, and I'm having a hard time sifting through the nonsense. It is nonsense. I agree with you. It's like nobody else does quality work, it's hilarious. I say that all the time about like functional medicine, nutritional supplements. I'm like, Equal Life is uses an FDA regulated facility. We do NSF. We do GMP, good manufacturing practices. We test everything. We have research back into our products. But there are also other good companies. Like, we're not the only one, that does this. And so, again, I think it's crazy that a lot of fields do this, but they do. They really do. So I get it. Amber says, my ultimate goal is to have a system that removes all the nastiness, including fluoride, chlorine, etc., so we can drink, shower safely in any of the faucets showers throughout our home. Are you familiar with the Vitasalus PureMaster VF70 FluorideMaster combo? And if so, would you recommend it? If not, what would you put in your home? Yeah. However you pronounce that, I don't know. I just always refer to it as the Vita. But yes, I've looked into this one. Not one of the most popular, so I can tell you for sure. And the reason why so back in 2012, I opened my second location. That was my wellness center. And I had a whole filtration system that came in from Boston. And so basically we had 2 or 3 showers, we had treatment rooms, all that, right? And so everything was purified. So basically everything was reverse osmosis. And so I looked into this back then, and then I looked into this a few years ago. I plan on doing a big show on whole home filters soon. So I'll get you more information, but I know the product you're referring to, and it is a good product. They have the before and after lab testing results that shows you it removes the chlorine and fluoride, just like we spoke about. Chlorine is not as difficult to get out of water. It's not bad. Fluoride is the challenge, and that's why you need the special filtration system for fluoride. It's just a nasty one. It's tough to get out. So, say what you will about you wanted it on your teeth. Some people believe it, some people don't. I won't make that debate today, but you certainly shouldn't be drinking it, that's for sure. It does affect thyroid. It does lower thyroid in many people, and it's a poison. I mean, that's the bottom line. You swallow enough of it, and we are no longer here. So for sure, it's a poison. Okay, so yeah, that's that. Let me do a much larger show, but it's a good one. And so if you went with that one, I don't think you could go wrong. I think they offer quite a long guarantee in that too, which they should have a guarantee on it. I don't even think that you need to replace a lot of filters on these high-end ones for like 3 to 5 years, which is fantastic. So yeah, I think that you could be a really good one. All right, yeah, keep up the great work. Laddie is up next. We'll get rid of that last name. We only do first names here, so we keep it kind of more anonymous. Says, hello, Dr. Ball. I want to thank you so much for what you were doing. I've learned so much from you and absolutely adore your YouTube channel and podcast. God bless you. Thank you, lad. I appreciate that. Or laddie. And yeah, we're trying to really get people onto YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube right now, we would love you to subscribe to the show, continue following. And the reason is that we love the interaction with the video and with people on YouTube. It's really the only place to be able to get the videos besides my own website. And it's a great community. It's a very different community. So of course, podcast is amazing, but if you're watching this on YouTube, do subscribe. Not only do we put out exclusive content like certain shorts, but we have the podcast uploaded every single day. So thank you, Laddie. Appreciate you even letting me talk about that for a moment. All right. It says, I would like to know what you think of laser skin resurfacing treatments such as Halo or Opus Plasma and BBL, IPL light therapy treatments for anti-aging. I would also like to know what you think of medical grade skincare, or do you believe in keeping your skin line all natural? Great question. You wrote in before the new year. So obviously we're a few weeks behind getting people's questions, answer them in the order that they come in. But I've looked a lot into this because this year, or at least this year, is like gathering information. And I know I'm a little slow on this, but because I'm going to be releasing a new program that I'm very excited about. I do things that I'm very passionate about. And I know that a lot of other people are passionate about. They're out there. It has to do with what's called high performance health. And it won't be out until March, but I'm just super excited about it. So, but at the same time, I just talked about a new skincare product. You can see my review on it called the One Skin. It's a peptide that you can use in your face that absolutely does work. So that's amazing. The clinical research backs it up. But I do know about these laser treatments. I haven't done anything yet, but I'm thinking about it, and because I want to share it with you as well. So for me, here's the thing. I'm going to be really honest with you. I get sun. I try to get sun on a near daily basis. I don't mind, honestly, I really don't mind a little bit of the wrinkles and things like that comes with aging. And the reason is that I'm just not willing to trade not getting vitamin D versus some wrinkles. But I get it why some people don't. Totally understand that. I'm also not going to put suntan lotion on. For me, I just, unless I'm going to the beach for 4 hours, I don't really need to put it on. I'm not someone that burns easily, but yes, there'll be photosynthesis, and yes, there will be some skin aging from that. So I get it and I understand. But I'm saying okay, well, I'm going to get my vitamin D, but maybe I'll try some of this laser-based therapy, which what it does is it's called resurfacing. It's essentially taking off the skin cells on the outer layer and allowing then regeneration from new, healthier, fresh cells on the outside. And it's working on different types of hyperpigmentation, fine lines and wrinkles that are more surface level. And so it's been around for a while. It's not like it's brand new. And there's not a lot of side effects, except when you get to the Opus Plasma, I think it's 48 hours of a lot of redness on your face. So it could be that. And then same with the BBL light therapy. There can be a little bit as well. I think the Halo is a little less. And, but for right now, I'm going to do some micro needling. I'm going to be doing the One Skin. And yeah, I'm going to do a few things like that, but no laser based. And then when I do laser based, of course, I'm going to share it with everybody and just let you know how it went. And, would I do it again? And typically, these things last for you could do a couple treatments, but they last usually then 6 to 12 months. So yeah, interesting. But thanks for bringing it up. And I think that all of them can be fine. They really can. And I think that I don't see a lot of downside, except they can be expensive. And then you do have to stay out of the sun when you have it done for, anywhere from 3 to 7 days before that skin really heals, sometimes even longer. So I think that's worth noting as well. Certainly wouldn't want to do this before going out or going on vacation in the sun. All right, Carla's up next. Thank you for your informative podcast. They are so helpful. My boyfriend is very committed to the McDougall high starch diet. I'm a little concerned for the health and sustainability of this plan. What are your thoughts on this plan? Yeah, again, I don't like to speak negatively of anyone. I actually think that Dr. McDougall is quite a smart individual. I think a lot of doctors are smart individuals, but I think that sometimes the work is taken too far and it's not looked at in its totality. And so let me share with you why. So he's a proponent of a high starch diet. Now, I don't necessarily disagree with that right off the bat. for like an ectomorph, Vata body type. I talked about this before. Why do the blue zone diets get away with eating so much food? One is the hypocaloric. Second, they move a lot. And third, it's actually coming from pretty healthy foods. Like purple sweet potatoes is 2/3 of the Okinawan diet. And so you're like, wow, that's interesting. And almost all the blue zone diets, the majority of the food is starch. Then you've got 20%, maybe 30% fat, and then you've got around 10%, 5-10% protein. Like that's typically the macros. Now, again, I'm not telling you to follow that. I'm just sharing with you typical blue zone diet. And they're overall healthy people and overall live a long life. And it's not set to just people in Sardinia or Okinawa or, whatever. Like it's just like it's all over the world. Okay, so the McDougall diet's a little different though, because at least in the beginning, I haven't followed him for the last year or two, but he was saying you can eat pasta all you want. You can eat pizza. Really, just make it the way that they recommend it. That there was no issues with wheat and gluten. So I am absolutely concerned about that. As a practitioner of integrative health and functional medicine, I lab test people. I'm not sure that he does. Maybe he does. Again, like I'm not saying anything negative, okay? What I'm saying is that I can assure you that many people have a gluten and gliadin wheat-based sensitivity. So I can assure you of that. Okay. The second is that I can assure you that many people are more prone to weight gain on a higher starch diet because it is an energy-based diet. Now, if you keep it hypocaloric, less calories than you need for the day, yeah, you very well may lose weight. Okay. The third one is that even though it's easier to digest, it's less in protein. Now, can you get protein? Of course you can. He's not saying negate protein, but there's not as much protein in a starch-based food than a plant-based protein or an animal-based protein. Okay, so there's that part to it. So then there's also the inflammatory process if you're getting these foods more processed because of the omega-6s. And I'm not sure he takes into account omega-3s and omega-6s. And I think inflammatory prostaglandins is a serious thing to watch out for heart disease, et cetera, et cetera. Now, he's saying that high fiber is going to be less heart disease, less high blood pressure. And again, like, yes, that's actually correct. But can you do that in an even healthier way? That's the thing. I'm about doing it in the healthiest way possible. His is more mainstream, like eat your pasta, eat this, eat that. I can't get behind that. I can't get behind that. It's not the healthiest diet in the world, I'll tell you that. So, all right, there you go. Crystal's up next. Hello, I've waited a long time to ask this question. I've noticed my body is very sensitive to weather changes in humidity, pressure, storms, or snow. As an abrupt change from clear skies to a cloudy incoming storm will cause immense pain in my stomach that radiates towards my ribs, affecting my breathing. It also causes gurgling in my stomach, nausea, burping, and I get pale. I'm not sure if this is triggering my vagus nerve or it's a vasovagal attack or possible abdominal migraine. This has been happening a couple of years now. It's gotten somewhat better. I have done a lot of work with your team. I guess I would like your insight into this and how the weather could be contributing cause. I'm embarrassed to even ask. Thank you much for a starting point and a root cause. Yeah, well, don't ever be embarrassed to ask, like at all. I mean, we're all here as a community helping each other get better. Like, that's it. And I read every day, I research every day in order to get better. We're all just trying to get better. And so, we've answered over 5,000, 6,000 questions on the Cabral HouseCalls. You should never feel embarrassed to write in anything you want. So please do ask away. Okay, to me, this absolutely sounds like a vasovagal-based issue. Again, I have to give you my disclaimer now. I'm not providing any medical diagnosis, no medical treatment plans, no medical cures, no medical advice whatsoever. I'm here to help you with underlying root cause reasons as to why we are not healthy human beings. And we can figure this out. So this does sound like dysautonomia, right? So that's vagal nerve issue. Okay, dysautonomia, all of a sudden, tension goes up, epinephrine levels rise, cortisol levels may rise, vasoconstriction happens in some parts of the body, vasodilation in another, heart rate starts to go up, digestion gets weaker, there's the burping, there's the nausea from the weakened digestion and the fight or flight response. That's absolutely what it sounds like. So how do we fix this? Hopefully you've read my book, the Rain Barrel Effect with the De-Stress Protocol, because it's diet, but that's not gonna be the only thing, right? So there's exercise absolutely to help strengthen the I keep saying vaso, but it's vagal nerve and vasovagal response. Stress reduction, that comes back to binaural beats, meditation, going for walks, doing therapy as needed for inner child and past, basically hypnosis-based regression therapy for childhood-based issues, because it's not just physical, it's mental as well. We need to work on the mental part, right? We get the body balanced mentally and physically. If you haven't done a detox, I'm sure you have. We're going to do a 21-day detox. And so we're going to work on both mind and body to make it feel more safe. Your body right now is not, again, not giving any diagnosis, is not the safest place. It sounds like it's quite a tendency towards fight or flight, but then the body begins to shut down, potentially because of chronic-based stress that this has been going on for quite some time. So that to me is a starting point, and then you will continue to work on calming the nervous system on a daily basis. All right? And that goes all those calming things. Lynn is up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. Thank you for these house call podcasts. I really enjoy them and looking forward to listening every week. Thanks, Lynn. Appreciate you tuning in. I wondered if you have any suggestions for someone who's living without a thyroid gland. I had mine removed 40 years ago due to cancer. They also removed the parathyroid. I take natural thyroid armor as a replacement. My levels are stable and within normal range. However, I wonder if there is things that I can do to nutritionally improve uptake or things I should avoid that would inhibit uptake. Appreciate all you do, and I look forward to hearing the answer to my question in 12 weeks or so. You got it right, about 12 weeks is what it takes. You asked on 11:30. Let's see if we're at 12 weeks. We'll do a fun little test here. This show's debuting on February 11th. So let's say all of December 4, all of January 8, and then 2 of February 10. No, we're catching up a little bit. So happy to see that. All right. So Lynn, let's get to your question. I believe I've answered this before at stephencabral.com/podcasts, and you can use the search box, but maybe you couldn't find it. That's okay. No problem. And also happy to answer this because maybe I haven't answered it, right? So, okay, you have no thyroid. What can you do? Okay. Yeah, I agree. If you have no thyroid, I do recommend a thyroid replacement on a daily basis. Again, no medical advice. What would I do? Well, probably exactly what you're doing. I would use the thyroid armor, or I would use a thyroid glandular. Okay, so that's what I would do. We use a glandular even for people with a thyroid and they have low thyroid in the practice, and we use what's called daily thyroid support. Daily thyroid support may benefit you or it may not. Here's why. Even though you don't have a thyroid, and so you're saying, well, how do I produce then the iodine molecules, this, that, and the other thing? I've still found it beneficial in practice. Do you need 4 a day? No, maybe you need 2 a day, right? Maybe you need 2 in the morning when thyroid really should be more active. So it's something to look at, but again, you'll always test. But if you're in normal range, you're in normal range. So maybe you're already doing a great job and we don't have to worry about this at all. So now how else can you control and improve thyroid? One is your adrenals. You can't let yourself get overly chronic stressed, right? So things like magnesium and Adrenal Soothe are incredible products for your thyroid. It makes no sense because it's the adrenals and it's the nervous system, like we were just talking about our friend Crystal. So our friend Crystal would probably do incredibly well with Adrenal Soothe, sleep help support protocol, and full spectrum magnesium on a daily basis throughout the day to calm the nervous system, right? Probably do great with that. Some omega-3s and maybe daily probiotic support, daily nutritional support. Those would be great, right? No doubt about it. So Crystal, hopefully you didn't stop tuning into the show because I do like to go back sometimes because we have all sorts of different, friends and community members asking different questions. So for you, we need to protect the adrenals because if you don't know, please go back to my show on how the adrenals affect the thyroid. It's the HPA axis, hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis, affecting the hypothalamus pituitary thyroid axis, right? So really important. So we're protecting the adrenals, and then we're also protecting against heavy metals. This is extremely important. Okay, why? Fluoride, bromine, chlorine, just a couple off the top of my head, are all going to affect not just the thyroid itself, but the usability of thyroid hormone. And so I think that that's really important to note. It's more important if you have your thyroid, of course. That's definitely more important for the actual iodine being used to make T4 and then being converted over to T3 inside things like the liver. But still important, still absolutely important for thyroid in general. Okay, so that is exactly, I think, a good starting point for you to look at. And then after you've done that, we can always take things to the next level. We can look at a functional medicine detox. We can look at gut health. So the truth is, though, everybody should be running their Big 5 on a daily basis. It tells you exactly where your weak points are in the armor, right? You work on those, you bring up your deficiencies, you lower your toxicities, And whether you have a thyroid or not, whether you're, missing a spleen, whether you're missing one kidney, whether you're whatever you're dealing with, you're able to deal with it. You're missing a gallbladder. That's common. A lot of people in the community, they had their gallbladder removed. So it's like you can still be a totally healthy human being and live the longest life imaginable, whether you had that gland or so removed or organ removed. So I think it's important to look at that and just keep on keeping on. Keep yourself healthy. Keep emptying that rain barrel, doing the most nourishing things for your body, following the de-stress protocol, and you're going to be just fine. All right, thanks everybody. Appreciate you tuning into this first Cabral House Call. I'll be back tomorrow answering more of our community's questions. Enjoy that weekend. I want to sincerely thank you for your support of this podcast. I couldn't do it without you, and I mean that. I truly do. I also want to make sure you knew that we now have multiple ways for you to find your answers to the most difficult health, wellness, weight loss, and anti-aging questions. You can find podcast-specific topics like thyroid, adrenal, hormones, sleep, digestion, Ayurveda, and many more at stevencabral.com/podcasts that will then link you to your favorite Apple, Spotify, and other podcast players. Plus, all new podcasts and weekly exclusive video content is being added to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Steven Cabral. And that's Steven with a PH. Head on over and subscribe so that you don't miss any of the exclusive content. Lastly, if you've ever found any of my podcasts or books to be helpful, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a review on iTunes or your favorite media player for the podcast. Rating and subscribing to the YouTube and podcast allow me to reach more and more people and help spread my mission of healing throughout the world. Thank you again for being a part of this movement.